Yo, how's it going, boys? 17 days. We got 17 days left at the time of uploading, which means we got to keep the hype train going, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get started. The 2xko account on Twitter has been posting a lot lately. Community guidelines, the voice actors for each character, stages, yada yada yada, the Sage Jam Chipotle memes, but what I want to focus on today are the character stats. Now, it might seem boring, but I think it has some useful insights, so bear with me, please. Let's start out with Yasuo here. So Yasuo the Unforgiven, he is a all-arounder. Initially it makes me think, what are the others going to be? But I guess we will see. We've got 5 stats: range, power, vitality, mobility, and ease of use. I think a lot of these are self-explanatory, but power, I'm not sure what that means. So range is obvious. They gave him a 3 out of 5. I mean, he has his stance 2H, his stance 5H. He's also got like the special that goes like pokes the wind wall and goes full screen. So I'm not really sure why he's a 3. I know he's not like a zoner, but I mean, he's got range, right? So if he's a 3, I'm curious to see what a 4 and a 5 are. Power, I don't really know what this stat is. It sounds like damage, but Yasuo, he dishes it out, right? So I mean, I've seen TODs with him. If this is damage, I don't think that the power stat will matter much. I think a lot of characters will be able to TOD, so I don't know. We'll see. Next is vitality. He's a 3 out of 5. Oh, speaking of, I did pull up. Let's see here. I did pull up the data mined supposed health values. So if he's a 3 out of 5, we see he has 1,000 health. Jinx has a little bit lower at 950, Ekko a little bit lower, and Braum and Darius and Ilaoi a little bit higher. So we can kind of, if this is correct, assumed to be correct, then Yasuo at 3 or like average vitality, we can expect other characters in the future to have around 1,000 health in that regard. Next is mobility. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. He has his like stance dashes, but without the stance, he's really immobile. And then he has those like aerial dashes as well. Though, I don't know, it almost seems like he should be a 2, but they gave him a 3. And then ease of use. I assume this means like if you have a 5, then you're really easy, and if you have a 1, then you're really difficult to use. This is the same as like Guilty Gear Strives. Every time they release a character, they just do like the ease of use rank, right? And that's crazy to me. If Yasuo is a 3, then like what's what's a 2 and what's a 1? I don't know. Maybe we'll get some insights on the following characters. So let's go to the next one. Jinx, the loose cannon. She's a zoner. Great, yeah, we all knew that. Range is 4 out of 5. I mean, so she has her rocket that goes full screen, her stun gun goes full screen, the monkey goes full screen, even the trap goes full screen if you hit it. And she has that level 1 super with like the fireworks, and that goes full screen. So if she's a 4, man, like what is a 5 on range, right? And then power, 3 out of 5. They gave her the same ranking as Yasuo. I mean, so Yasuo seems like the all-arounder, right? It's like the Mario of the game. You know, he's balanced in every stat, but not excelling or, you know, doing poorly in any stats. So we can kind of like compare things to him, right? So Jinx having a 3 out of 5 on power, I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, I saw developers play her at Evo, and none of them did as much damage as Yasuo does. So maybe this isn't damage. I don't know. Vitality, 2 out of 5. So we saw Jinx 950. Okay, so she's got less health than Yasuo. 2 out of 5. Vitality, mobility, 2 out of 5. I would agree with that. I would almost even say she's a 1, right? She has no like dashing moves, no lunging moves. She has that like pop-up with the rocket that OTGs, but that's almost more of like a mobility option than an attack, right? So she pops up. I even saw Apology Man use it in a combo video I recently released, but Apology Man used it to like pop up and grab an opponent. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, ease of use, 4 out of 5. Makes sense. You don't really need to know like high damaging combos with her to be effective. I think you can just like throw out her tools and pollute the screen. But yeah, if she's a 4 out of 5, I'm curious what a 5 out of 5 is. You'll hear me say that a lot, I think. Ilaoi, the Kraken Priestess. She's a bruiser. 3 out of 5 range. I mean, they gave her that like chargeable, like they made that move chargeable now, right? Where she slams the ground and does a low. So now it's the full screen low if she charges it. She also has that huge slam that comes down. And then the tentacles almost give her infinite range, right? But so I'm curious to see like how they grade each one here, right? Because she does, I feel like she, I don't know. Maybe she does have the same range as Yasuo, but she just has these like tools, and it is kind of ambiguous, right? Because like tentacles, infinite range, right? Like she has a full screen presence with that, but yeah, they felt like giving her a 3. Power, 4 out of 5. Okay, I haven't seen her do an exceptional amount of damage, so I don't think this is damage. Vitality, 4 out of 5. Let's check the health. So if this is to be correct, then she has 1150. Cool, it's 4 out of 5. And then mobility, 2 out of 5. I agree with that. She has that like lunging lariat kind of move, but it's not really like a movement ability, right? It's definitely more of an attack than movement. Whereas Jinx's rocket seems to be more movement than attack. But she doesn't have anything else. Yeah, she has like the special in the air, like brings you down, but that's it. So yeah, I kind of agree with that. I would almost say she's a 1, but maybe they have something else in mind that is a 1. We'll see. Ease of use, 3 out of 5. I think she's easier than Yasuo to use, execution-wise and buttons-wise. Like you don't have to worry about stance and everything. So I wouldn't really say her and Yasuo are like the same difficulty, but I don't know. Next is Darius, 3 out of 5 range. Makes sense. I mean, he has big buttons. And then they gave him the fireball. Yeah, without the fireball, I'd say he's like a 2, but they gave him the fireball now, so he's got a 3 on range, 4 on power. He does dish out damage for sure. Vitality 4. Let's see what we got here. Darius 1050. So they gave him, you know, if this is still correct, if they haven't changed it between when it was data mined and now, it's a little bit interesting that he has a 1050 and Ilaoi has 1150, and then like the same ranking on vitality, right? So next is mobility. Yeah, he doesn't really have anything, right? Like nothing. Am I wrong? Yeah, he doesn't have anything mobile. He's got like the downward spinning attack when he's in the air, but like that's more of an attack than a mobile move, right? So I would almost say he's a 1 also. And then ease of use, 5 out of 5. That makes sense. A lot of my friends that don't play fighting games in the Alpha Labs picked Darius. He's got these huge buttons that he can just confirm into super very easily. He's got the fireball now. Yeah, in my mind, he's like the Mario of the game, where anyone can just come in and pick him up and play him and enjoy him. I would almost say he's even as like a 6 out of 5 on ease of use. But next. Ari, the Nine-Tailed Fox, Rushdown. Yep, makes sense. So far we have Rushdown, All-Arounder, and Bruiser and Zoner, right? So there's 4 so far. Rushdown. She's got 3 out of 5 on range. Makes sense. I mean, she has her Fireball, but I don't think it goes full screen. She has that Super that I think goes full screen, but it's a super attack, right? So that makes sense. Power, 2 out of 5. Yeah, I mean, her individual moves don't do a lot of damage, but she still dishes out damage the last time I saw her. I didn't see a lot of her at Evo, to be honest, but I did, you know, in Alpha Lab 2, Alpha Lab 1, she was putting out damage just because her combos were so long, right? Vitality, 2 out of 5. What do we got here? 900. Okay, so they gave her a 2 out of 5 along with Jinx. So it seems like there's a range here, right? If this is still to be believed, then like 900 and 950 is 2. Makes me think like, what would a 1 be? You know what I mean? Like a 1 in vitality, is that like Lulu or the little cat chick that sits on your shoulder? I don't remember her name from League, but would that be a 1? And would they have like 800 health or something? I don't know. Makes me think. Next is mobility, 5 out of 5. That makes sense. So this is the first 5 out of 5 of mobility that we've seen. And that does make a lot of sense. She's got the air dashes. She's got that like multi-directional, not a dive kick, but you know what I mean, where she dashes in the air with like the move. It has a hitbox, and then she also has like a traditional anime fighter air dash, which is really cool. I almost wish they gave that to all characters, but I understand. Yeah, cool. 5 out of 5. Ease of use, 3 out of 5. If we're comparing this back with Yasuo, I agree with this. I think they are difficult in different ways. She has a lot of interesting confirms with her fireball and the air dashes that are like pretty tight timing. So I think difficult in different ways, but probably about the same as Yasuo, right? Cool. Next we've got Ekko, the boy who shattered time. He's mix-up. So that's the first mix-up character we've seen. So there's 5 so far then. He's got 3 out of 5 in range. Makes sense. I mean, he has his Time Winder ability that he can smack and it goes full screen, but other than that, and the super he throws out. But yeah, other than that, he doesn't really have a whole lot of range. I would almost say he's a 2, but he does get that like full screen presence with the Time Winder. Power is a 2 out of 5. Vitality 2 out of 5. Let's see, Ekko 950. Same as Jinx. Okay. Mobility 4 out of 5. That makes sense. He's not as mobile as Ari, but he has like the roll to the other side that he can do, like and mix you up. He's also got that little air hop. It's like a pseudo air dash, and then he can obviously teleport back to his clone anytime he wants. So that's that makes a lot of sense. Let's give this a like. And then yeah, ease of use 3 out of 5. That makes sense. I mean, I would say he's in line with Yasuo, but like, what's a 1? What's a 2 in ease of use? Then we've seen a 5 in Darius, and that makes sense. But like, what's a 1 or a 2? I don't know. Next we have Braum, the heart of the Freljord, and he's a bruiser, so another bruiser along with Alawi. Yeah, no, Darius was an all-arounder. So yeah, bruiser, 2 on the range. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he has Poro, which is full screen presence, and it's like, it's slow, but it is beefy. And then he's got the super, the level 1 super that goes full screen. So yeah, I agree with the range. Power, he's the first 5 out of 5. This can't be damage. There's no way this is damage, because Braum, like, he doesn't do no damage, but he doesn't do that much damage. You know what I mean? Like, he does not, like, Yasuo does more damage, for sure. So I'm really curious to see what power is. Vitality 5 out of 5. That makes sense. I think he's the first 5 out of 5, and he has 1150. So that makes sense. Mobility 2 out of 5. Yeah, again, I would almost say he's a 1. What mobility does he have? That little, like, the move in the air where he falls down on you, like with the shield. But he doesn't really have anything. I mean, he has big buttons, and he has like a couple like the lunge, like his I think it's the 3H or maybe it's 5H, I'm not sure, but he like lunges forward and smacks the shield. But again, that's like more of an attack and less of a mobility option. So yeah, makes sense. Ease of use 4 out of 5. Yeah, I mean, if Darius is a 5, I would say he's also a 5. I would lump them together on that, but maybe he's a little bit harder. He's got like the OTG into Poro confirm. He's more of a support character, so you have to like use his shield accurately. So yeah, that makes sense. Next we have Vi. Oh, last one. Okay, so Vi, the Piltover Enforcer. She's rushed down. Cool, so that's 2 rush down characters. Range 1. Interesting. So that's the first ranged 1 that we've seen. We haven't seen a range 5, like a 5, and that's a little bit confusing because, like, yeah, she doesn't have like this full screen presence, but she has big buttons. Like, she's got the Q from League where she charges up to level 3 and it goes full screen. She has the footwork into light, which is very fast. It's a really fast lariat. It reminds me of Bardock. So I don't know like why they gave, but yeah, I guess if she's just like standing still, she doesn't have like a lot of range, right? And then her assist also like hits pretty far because it's so freaking big. Power is a 4 out of 5, so more than Yasuo. I feel like they're the same. Like they do this. I'm gonna skip past this. Power is definitely not damage. It can't be. It doesn't make any sense. Vitality is 3 out of 5. Oh, what's hers? Vi. Oh, I think they said something about Vi assuming Vi is 1000 HP. So yeah, that makes sense. She's right in line with Yas, and she's like, I think it would be this slot down here. Cool. Mobility 4 out of 5. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's got like the full screen punch. She's got the footwork. She can use footwork into sway, I think it's called, and go through you. She's got the Rekka, which advances her forward, I think even on whiff. So, but yeah, the thing with Vi is like her range and mobility go hand in hand. So if her mobility is that good, then so is her range. Like other characters, I wouldn't make that argument, but with Vi, her range and mobility go pretty much hand in hand. She's a threat at any range, although she excels, yeah, at like mid to close range, sure. Okay. Ease of use, 4 out of 5. They say she's easier to use. I don't know, like, yeah, I guess she's not as hard as Ekko, Yasuo, and Ahri, but like she still has like, you have to perfectly time her electric uppercuts. If they're too fast, then you don't get the good combo. If they're too slow, then they drop. And then she is definitely like a scalpel. You have to use her mobility really well, and then, you know, execute on that. She doesn't just have these like huge buttons, so she's a little more like specific. You have to be intentional with her. Whereas Darius, you can just like swing buttons and it works, right? And then they gave Braum a 4 out of 5 on ease of use too, so I'm not sure. Oh, and she has Bionic Arm, which is also a full screen presence move, and it's invincible after the flash. It's a level 1 invincible move that she can just use to punish assists and punish people for throwing out moves full screen. Like Yasuo does wind wall, Bionic Arm, every time, right? So, I don't know that I completely agree with this. So, yeah, let me give like my thoughts on this. So, we didn't see a 5 on range, and we didn't see a few of the extremes, right? A 5 on range, a 1 on power, 1 vitality, 1 mobility, 1 or 2 ease of use, right? We didn't see any of that. So it makes me think like that they have someone on deck who is a 5 in range, or someone else who is a 1 on ease of use. And that makes sense, like if they already know those characters exist. Like let's say they have Caitlyn. They're definitely going to have Caitlyn soon, but like if they have Caitlyn or Jhin, they're probably 5s, right, on the range. They're probably like way oppressive on the range, right, which is fine. But then like a 1 on power, they don't have that either. Like who's going to be tickling you, right? But what I really want to talk about is the ease of use one. So the lowest we saw is a 3. Which makes sense. So this initial launch, 8 characters, assuming they don't announce, well, yeah, assuming they don't announce 2 more characters before September 9th in the next 2 weeks, right? The easiest characters we have, or the hardest characters we have, sorry, are Yasuo, Ekko, and Ahri, with a 3 out of 5. So it makes me think they have people in mind, or characters in mind, that are a 1 or are a 2 out of 5. And if that's the case, it just doesn't, it's like a clash of design methodologies in my mind. So I'm coming from like a QA perspective, that's what I do professionally, and if they, like their whole messaging here is trying to get players who have never played fighting games into the genre, right? People who either never played or didn't play a lot, people from League that they want to play. So they're making all these characters, like the hardest characters are a 3 out of 5, right? The hardest ones is Yasuo, Ekko, and Ahri. And even then, like a lot of people are going to play Ahri. They're going to play Ekko. I could see less people playing Yasuo because of the stance, but regardless. So they're trying to make it easy and get these people into play, right? But if they have a 1 or a 2 character, like let's say for the 9th or 10th character they release Zed or Katarina, because we know she's in production, right? And they're like a 1. You have 10 characters and one of them is essentially unplayable to like 99% of your player base, right? So you don't have 10 characters, you have 9. Effectively, you have 9 characters, not 10, in that regard, right? And you know, if we had 20 characters on launch or 30 characters on launch, like a lot of other tag fighters, then I don't think it's a problem. Sure, make a couple of them really freaking hard to use, right? I'm no stranger to high execution, but those are the characters I love. I'm a lab monster. I love high execution characters, right? I play Yasuo, and I do think there's room in this game for like higher execution characters to come in, right? I would love that, but I just think it's a clash of design, like a design methodology here on the team's part. Like if they do have those characters in mind, and they are trying to get new players in, then like you have to wait to release those characters, you know? But it just makes me like think, like ultimately it just makes me think, who are the extremes? Is Zed and Katarina or like Samira going to be the 1s and the 2s? You know, it makes me think of like who's a 1 on vitality, who's a 1 on mobility, who's a 1 on power, you know? Because I would say that Ekko and Yasuo and stuff are like more like closer to 2, but yeah. Anyways, I think I'm just rambling at this point, so thanks for watching, guys. I really enjoyed making this video. Put in the comments down below what your launch team is going to be. I think I'm just going to stick with Yasuo and Alawi. That was my team in the past, and then I'll branch out from there. But yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you guys later. Adios.